I'll be honest with you guys, Trump's depiction on Israeli television isn't the nicest.
Who brought all the hostages back? It took me less time than to cook a Big Mac.
Yep, as there's a little bit of an awkward situation unfolding right now, as internationally and geopolitically, it looks like we're in a bit of a precarious situation, as Bibi Netanyahu has just come out and directly contradicted the direct orders and wishes of the President of the United States, once again publicly, in a very kind of weird, humiliating type of action here, as of course the man that Donald Trump has rolled out the red carpet for and has done a lot for, looks like he really isn't appreciative of all of the money, support, and goodwill America has lost in exchange for their support, as even major Israeli right-wingers are saying, man, this guy's taking it a step too far, as there's now bigger conversations about Israel taking over, conquering, and making the West Bank theirs. All of this as members of Congress are also clapping back here, as David Icke has some very interesting comments about what's going to be happening here with the West Bank, as right now, the awkward situations, the betrayals, the very kind of aggressive maneuvers are something that I think is absolutely worth talking about, as David Icke definitely isn't mixing any words here. We'll go over his comments, as well as Alex Karp's, the CEO of Palantir's comments around this kind of very weird, awkward type of situation. And if you appreciate our ability to talk about this issue without going to any further extremes, like most of the people do when they talk about this, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you get to spend with us. As right now, the Israeli Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu, rebuked Donald Trump, saying, yeah, the U.S. doesn't determine what we do. Saying, if we want to annex the West Bank, we'll do it. And Trump will have nothing to say about it. As, of course, we're a, quote, independent country that the United States has spent more money on foreign aid than any other country in the world ever. In the overall long-term trajectory of it all. Now, a lot of people are saying, whoa, independent? But why are we funding, aiding, and abetting all of your military actions then? Why are we giving you the latest and greatest American tech? Why are we not questioning your apprehension of nuclear weapons? Why aren't we, as the Americans that are financing and bankrolling and also defending you and also giving you a quarter of our THAAD missile defense systems, putting us at a significant disadvantage? Why are we running low on stockpiles, but we continue to send our troops now to the Middle East? Why are our troops in Gaza right now? As this is directly what Bibi had to say here, and I think his comments are worth paying attention to, as he's directly responding to Donald Trump saying this yesterday after there was, according to J.D. Vance, a personal insult, and the Knesset, this kind of Israeli ruling body, when J.D. Vance was there, pushed over and went over a red line that the United States said you're not going to cross. This was the red line. As now Bibi saying, yeah, we'll cross it. We'll do it.
Did you promise leaders this week that you would not allow Israel to annex the West Bank? Is that something that you
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
And Bibi's like, yeah, you know what? We're not. He says, President Trump said earlier in an interview, this is the question, 2 years ago, Israel will not annex the West Bank because I gave my word to the Arab states. This is, again, what's in the balance here. Trump is making deals with all these Middle Eastern countries to go invest, to take over Gaza, to be their political leadership, to have goodwill here, to keep peace in the region, to keep trade open, right? And he's saying, okay, this is what the Arab states want. This is part of the negotiations. We won't do it. And now, with the peace deal, by the way, already broken, the ceasefire already broken by Israel, Israel had 2 IDF soldiers that ran over an unexploded, according to U.S. government officials, an unexploded Israeli device. They blew up, and then Israel automatically blamed Hamas, and then they started bombing and denying aid. Now, luckily, they stopped bombing, and they're still allowing aid in as of now. But that already was a huge disrespectful sign against Donald Trump. And there were multiple disrespectful signs. Trump says, stop bombing Iran. They didn't. They sent more bombs. Trump said, stop bombing Gaza. They said, yeah, we'll do it whenever we want to in about 2 days. And now Trump's like, hey, you're not going to take over West Bank. Bibi's like, yeah, we're going to take over the West Bank. The reporter's asking, you will lose American support, and the Americans are now dictating policy to Israel. What is your, quote, response? The person asked. Bibi says, I deeply appreciate Trump support, both in wartime actions, in my decision to enter Gaza City, and in his efforts to rally the Arab world to rescue and free our hostages through our military presence and his diplomatic pressure. And we brought back 20 living hostages, something no one believed would happen. And now, in the position we are talking, including tonight's conversation with Marco Rubio, and earlier with Vice President Vance, to advance the goals of demilitarizing Gaza and dismantling Hamas and its weapons and those straightforward objectives for us. So that was what matters. And I think there's something significant about cooperating between partners, which I believe in. A tremendous blessing for the state of Israel. We are an independent nation. Huh? Independent nation. No, we're bankrolling. The United States is the sugar daddy. Israel's a sugar baby, but some people see it a little bit different. As Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna had a particular response to this, as Matt Gaetz says, Republican Congresswoman Luna claps back at Bibi. Quote, we are an independent nation. If you ask for our help, expect to be held responsible for upholding a very well-negotiated peace deal. President Trump has made it clear, if America supports, you must respect the terms and conditions that will come with it. That's the big kind of negotiation. That's the type of deal. Of course, she issued another message. Now, before playing that other message and talking about what Alex Karp and Palantir and all these other type of individuals and organizations are talking about specifically with this big kind of crazy ordeal, we wanted to, of course, just quickly and shortly remind you to sign up to lookunfiltered.com. We are not financed and supported by any country. There's a direct attack against free speech, especially here in the United States. Your support of independent media, voting with your dollars, is greatly appreciated, and we are very humbled by all of your gracious support throughout the 20 years that I've been doing this. And listen, if I have a choice, whether to ask you to do 20 cents today, $8 a month, or take money from a foreign government, I'd rather ask you for help. And I'd rather do it that way. That's a lot more honest and earnest than a lot of other people who shill out to special industries and are just doing whatever they want for a buck. We have a lot of longevity. We've been doing this for an extremely long time, and we can't do it without you. LukeUnfiltered.com, 3 master classes, access to our Telegram chat. I'm in the Telegram chat. It's getting spicy. It's getting very interesting, and we're going to be doing a live stream for members too. I'm super excited to be talking to all of you guys, all of you members, and it's great being able to talk to you guys. So if you want to join the conversation, sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com, join the Telegram channel, and I will see you there. Now, on a separate account, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna wrote, quote, we are also an independent country. The President of the United States has negotiated in good faith an incredible peace deal. And again, it hangs in the balance of this West Bank type of maneuver. J.D. Vance said that this was a political stunt and a direct insult to him when they did it yesterday. Bibi saying, we're an independent country now. After the whole Gaza offensive was pretty much paid for by us. After all the goodwill and diplomacy and international relations that cost us for all of your actions, what? She says, yet there is open disrespect for the United States, as well as your comments that do you no favor. President Trump has been clear. If you do not adhere to the negotiations of the peace, you will not be receiving help from the United States. Now, we saw Joe Biden threaten this and then quickly give more aid to the Israelis. What will Donald Trump do? Trump's bombastic. Trump is tough, but his policy here, he looks, and I hate saying this, but it's true, he looks weak, right? Because after disrespect, You just like, okay, here's more, guys. We'll do you more favors, and then more disrespect. I really do believe this relationship is coming to a head and probably will be ending sometime after around February of next year. That's personally what I think is going to be happening. I think there's going to be a lot. In 2026, from February on, I do believe there's going to be significant pushback from the United States against Israel. As
morning to find
as even, look, there's Jared Kushner, who shared his bedroom with Bibi as a child, with Steve Witkoff, talking about, the Israelis are getting a little bit out of hand. You don't say.
The next morning to find out that there had been this attack. Wow. And of course,
They're talking about the attack by Qatar, against Qatar, as Israeli military jets somehow penetrated U.S. CENTCOM and one of the biggest, most important military installations in the world that the United States run, and then allegedly committed this air assault and attack in the middle of the town without alleged advance notice to the United States.
I was called by the president.
You had no idea, obviously.
None whatsoever. You know, I think both Jared and I felt, I just feel we felt a little bit betrayed.
No,
As there's also
I had
other
heard
reports coming from Tucker Carlson being like, when we were doing the joint bombing of Iran campaign, that was, remember that? Tucker Carlson reports how a lot of people at the Pentagon felt absolutely disrespected as Israeli military service members were literally screaming at them, barking orders at American military personnel. Huh? Who's really in charge here?
but the president, that he was furious.
I think he felt like the Israelis were getting a little bit out of control in what they were doing, and that it was time to be very strong and stop them from doing things that he felt were not in their long-term interests.
People
Israelis totally out of control. Bibi. He means Bibi being totally out of
should
control.
understand that Netanyahu, the Israelis, bombed the peacemakers, bombed the negotiating team.
And by the way, Leslie, it had a metastasizing effect because the Qataris were critical to the negotiation, as were the Egyptians and the Turks. And we had lost the confidence of the Qataris.
Right.
And so Hamas went underground, and it was very, very difficult to get to them. And
they were your link to Hamas.
absolutely.
You were dealing through the Qataris to make your proposals to Hamas.
And it became very, very evident as to how important and how critical that role was.
Yeah, and then the Israelis were like, boom, we'll just blow it up. David Icke, who I agree with on some things, disagree with some things, has said the West Bank will be annexed. Only a matter of when. It's as good as now, given the Jewish settlers take over. And again, that's his assessment. We'll see what happens here. But again, Netanyahu and his government openly violated the peace deal already once. They're openly talking about violating a major key provision of it. The United States is saying, stop, you're disrespecting us. Why are you doing this? And they're doubling down, saying, we're going to do it more. And this is a country where U.S. American military personnel are being sent to right now. Why are our soldiers there? It's totally ripe for a false flag operation, by the way. Be careful. That's a very dangerous situation there. As occurs time after time, bombings of hospitals, denying of aid, starvation of people, predators who are being let go that come into our country that get to go back to Israel. All of the people around the world being like, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys, most of the world, voting against in the United Nations, against a lot of these egregious actions? The United States always standing behind Israel. The CEO of Palantir had some interesting comments to say about this during this very kind of weird, tumultuous time between everybody.
We believe that the support of the West is crucial for the survival of humanity. We believe that the West is superior. I believe that Israel is part of that Western narrative, and we supported Israel all the way through during some of the hardest times. It was obviously super controversial, and I got yelled at every day, at least once a day.
But how do you support somebody that doesn't support you or respects you? or defies your orders when you're financing, bankrolling, and giving them everything that they want.
I'm still proud that we are in the fight in Ukraine. We supported Israel. We support Homeland Security. All those things are controversial. I obviously, like you, was very, very relieved to see the hostage came home, and like you, mourned for the people who did not come home, which was very hard. The fact that the president, who deserves enormous credit, was able to make this peace happen, I don't really think anyone else would have been able to do it, is a testament to our country and his leadership.
Yeah, good job, Donald Trump, but it's not a good sign when the Israelis are like, yeah, this is going to keep provision. We're gonna want to violate it.
I'm very, very proud that this helped him with the Palantir. It could play some kind of small role in this enormous accomplishment led by the president.
And
now let's hope this deal sticks, but it looks like it's wavering here. Now David has his own kind of points here, talking about alleged Jewish tech billionaires and all this other stuff here. Now again, there's a lot of people who just like hate Israelis and will just be like, it's all Israel. And I'm like, those people are a little ridiculous. As of course, we're predominantly talking about the actions of a government that's being protested against by the Israeli people. The Israeli people are out there in the streets and have been out in the streets being like, Bibi, sign the peace deal. Right? Trump's like, stop bombing Gaza, sign the peace deal. And Bibi's like, yeah. Bam! More bombs, more attacks. And the whole world's like, come on, man. The Israeli people are like, come on. The Israeli people were on the streets being like, hey, sign the peace deal. It's all Israelis. And, no, come on. Let's not be ridiculous here. These are the actions of a government that has been in power for a very long time. As Bibi has announced, yeah, I'm going to run again. Oh, yeah, those corruption charges. Yeah, they just keep getting postponed every time there's a major conflict and war. What have done that? Nick Fuentes had a particular interesting reaction to J.D. Vance getting publicly disrespected, saying that this was a kind of an awkward situation for him. And I agree.
We believe Israel controls our system. Israel is the base of operations of international Jewry. International Jewry runs our country, Jewish oligarchs, billionaires. Now, this is his point of view. Why does he have this particular point of view? Well, look what is happening here. And unless there's a pushback against this type of attitude and sentiment will keep growing, right? You want to address this type of sentiment, this type of attitude, and you want to stop it? You stop people from thinking that by actually holding people accountable for their actions. Bibi, you're saying this? Whatever, we'll walk away, right? And I think if we look at America first, right, if we look at the actual policies and initiatives of that should be implemented in many ways. I don't think we should be getting involved in Venezuela right now. But here we are, and it's far more complicated, and there's far more things going on here. But again, you want to counter what this guy has to say? You address this in a way, because again, Trump doesn't take no ish, right? Trump, take no ish. Like, his comments here were very bold. And Bibi said, yeah, we're just independent. To Trump, like, publicly telling him, like, hey, you can't do that. This is part of the deal. Bibi's like, yeah, we're independent. Yeah, so what? This is why Nick has those beliefs as well. Other elites, they manipulate our system, and they do it to benefit Israel and themselves. We all know that. But lately, there's been this discussion inside the United States from the right wing, from Steve Bannon, from Tucker Carlson, and others, and they want to put Israel in its proper place. They say, Israel is our client. We are their superpower patron. They are our client.
I've been saying sugar daddy, sugar baby. We're the sugar daddy. We're the ones doling out the cash. Give me some. Give me some. What are you going to give me? Because, like, all I'm getting is what looks like a spoiled brat that's taking my money and disrespecting me with it. Now, unless you have a kink for that, no reason to kick change. But hey, that's not what I want to do. But you're taking my money. It's my money. It's my money. They want it back.
Our satellite. Some say Israel is our protectorate, a vassal, a suzerain. And
Of course, that's not the reality of the relationship. Some wish this were the case, and they say that we should start treating Israel that way. Well, today, J.D. Vance met with Netanyahu, and they talked about this, and Vance said, Israel's not our client state. They're not our puppet. They're our partner. And Netanyahu said the same thing, and it was very awkward. And Vance is tripping over himself to say, no, we don't control Israel. We're not supervising them. They are their own country. Well, why aren't they a protectorate?
If we're spending all that money, listen, you might disagree with some of the things he says, but there's a point to be made here. If we're financing, bankrolling, and we're giving and doling out all of our resources, goodwill, money, let's have something to show for it. What do we have to show for it? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for signing up to lookunfiltered.com, allowing us to survive as an independent media organization. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that, and this is why. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.